Welcome back to the show, everybody. A PlayStation Classic. Wow. Wow. I'm just like, damn, really? Well, I'm not saying it like that. This is more of a, okay, fine, like, wow, okay, because I'm trying to get the words out, right? This ain't the first time this has happened. That again, we talked about this a long time ago, back when the NES Classic was a thing, years ago. That before that, you had a whole bunch of little consoles you can go buy at the local dollar store. Like they had like 5 versions of the Sega Genesis that actually semi work with cartridges, and I got one and it sucks. And then the NES Classic came out, changed how we do things. The SNES Classic came out. You got the Neo Geo Mini now, and I think I talked about this a little bit further. And now we got the PlayStation Classic, and I'm just like, well, okay, I understand and I get it. I do. I'm like, because when I got up a couple minutes ago, like, I'm trying to get ready, man, to get my grind on, and I'm looking like, a what now? And I'm just like, you expected this. This was a thing you were looking for. And again, for the umpteenth time, Nintendo does a thing that sets the streets ablaze, and then everybody and their mamas got to do it. But again, it wasn't this an original Nintendo thing, but when you got NES and SNES classics selling like crack rocks on the corner, everybody trying to get in. Everybody want one. It's like, because this reminds me of the actual truth of, if you guys pay attention to like television right now, for the past couple of years, it ain't been nothing but reboots to things, remixes to things you remember, because it's touching on that nostalgic bone in the back of your body of, oh, I remember that thing. And this is another one of those, I remember that thing. The question I got is, what makes this so different than everything else? It's like, when I think about recently, like the three things we mentioned, that the NES Classic was alright. The SNES Classic, for what it did, it's cool because it had a full version of Star Fox 2, but not much else. And then you could question on both of those systems the game that they chose, and there's no way to expand that library. You have heard my thoughts on the Neo Geo Mini. Yeah, I got one pre-ordered, yeah, because I had to sit up here and convince myself that, yeah, I want one of these things, but it kind of sucks that all 54 games aren't available, and I really hope that ultimately there's a way to have a full library of games that spans both of those machines without having to buy two of them. What about this thing? What about this thing is going to have me like oohing and ahhing? Because when I really legitimately think about, like, what PS1 means to me and what it was that I want to see, a lot of that stuff got covered during the years where you could download a PS1 game to a PSP or a PS3 and play it. There are a couple of little outstanding outliers that didn't, for reasons we didn't understand. Mainly, the one thing in my head was Tekken 3, and from my understanding, the only reason why that they couldn't put it on PSN was because of theater mode. Because in order for it to fully work, you have to have discs of Tekken 1 and Tekken 2, and there was no way for them to fully get that technology in there. So it's like, we just can't have Tekken 3 at all. Because from my understanding, Tekken 3 runs semi just fine on the PSP if you put an ISO on it. From my understanding, for the 2 seconds I played a little slow down here and there, but that's the PSP emulator's fault and not necessarily the game. So there's that too. I want to see what this thing can do. I do. Because, see, this thing got to do something that none of these other things do to have me oohing and ahhing. So it's like, given what a PlayStation Classic could be, there are things you expect. But can Sony put together the work to put the things that you expect in a box like this? We're going to find out right now. So, if you would please, let me now introduce your best friend and mine, Super Motherfucking Magic Box! This is Super Motherfucking Magic Box. We're going to take a look at this PlayStation Classic. We're going to examine this, and we're going to find out what's really, really, really good. Because I want to know. So, no more stalling. Now activating PlayStation Classic.exe. Ooh, nostalgia. This is a PS1 Not the version that I have because they shrink it down and they have okay. So Tekken 3 is on this thing. Okay, HDMI stuff, other RPGs that I should be familiar with. Okay, replica controllers. Why aren't these dual shots? Jump and flash. Okay, you can release. Okay, a power button and a reset button suspends games. Okay, we got Type 4. Okay, open button changes virtual disc. Okay, Final Fantasy 7. Okay, good get. Okay, I got you. So that was Wild Arms. I forget what Wild Arms look like. I'm like, they got Tekken 3 on this thing. So this should be interesting. So bring it back to me, please. Please, bring it back to me. Okay. I got you. And I think I got something caught in my throat. So, excuse me. Okay. So, Tekken 3 is on this thing. Okay, so the one thing that you couldn't put on PSN is on this. So what makes this thing more powerful than an emulator that you would run on a PSP or PS3? You don't know. But, when I went to go take a look at the trailer, there was a link to what the PlayStation Classic does. Maybe it has more information to why Tekken 3 is a thing on this and I can't buy it on PSN. So, if you would please, let me introduce your other best friend in mine, Google motherfucking Chrome. This is Google motherfucking Chrome, and we are in Google motherfucking Chrome on the website where we are talking about the PlayStation Classic. So, what's up with this damn thing? Let us see. Introducing PlayStation Classic, a menu recreation of the original PlayStation preloaded with 20 of the best titles from a game-changing era. But I can't sit up here and put a connection box in there or use an action replay or a Game Shark or something, but a later version. But I love those original versions. There's so many cool things that you can do with the parallel port. Just putting it out there. So, a gaming icon reimagined. The design of the PlayStation Classic perfectly mirrors the original console with the same logo, button layout, and packaging, but 45% smaller than 1994's PlayStation. Okay. This miniature console comes with an HDMI cable to connect your TV, complete with 2 wire controllers plus a virtual memory card to save your adventures as you switch between titles. Okay, makes sense. The original PlayStation controller changed the way we play with 4 shoulder buttons and an ergonomic design for a perfect grip. The PlayStation Classic comes complete with 2 of these iconic controllers in a box. Excuse me. Still questioning why this isn't a DualShock, but maybe none of these games actually require an analog stick. Just put that out there. Relive the moments that changed gaming forever with the iconic PlayStation Classic featuring 20 of the best games from the original PlayStation console, including Final Fantasy 7, Tekken 3, Ridge Racer Type 4, Jumping Flash, and Wild Arms, and more to be. Now, so these are the 5 games that they're going with, and they're using PAL packaging for these things. But okay, I guess I don't know. I just don't get this. Well, I get it, but I don't get it. For $100. So 20 PS1 games inside of a small PS1 emulation machine for $20. Well, $100 anyway. So, here's my question. Ooh, that looks like the classic PlayStation box. Don't miss, okay? Pre-order your PlayStation Classic now for its release, blah, blah, blah. And look, it's pictures. Look at all of these pictures that we're not going to look at because you should... Actually, I'm interested in this picture. I am. I'm semi-interested in this picture. Comes with HDMI cables and all of that good stuff. And they got like the classic PlayStation thing. Look at they're evoking all this nostalgia to make you buy this thing. A compatible USB adapter not included is required to use this console. Use an AC. Are you serious? So, you're selling me an emulation machine of PlayStation games, and for $100, you can't give me a thing to make it work. Excuse me? Bring it back to me, please. Just do it. Just bring it back. The fuck, Sony, for real? So, let me understand this one more time, right? You make emulation machine. People want. We got 20 games. We announced 20% of them, right? No, 25% of them. 5 times 4 is 20. My math is bad right now. It's too early in the morning for this. But you tell me the thing to power it up, I need to buy separately from the machine. What? Like when Nintendo did this with the new 3DS, I kind of rolled my eyes a little bit at that, but it was like it worked with your old one, so we just assuming that we just trying to cut costs and like you use your old one on your new one. It's cool. I have to buy a separate device, whatever that device is, which is in the case a USB AC adapter to power this emulation machine. I hope gets hacked as soon as people find it. Because in order for it to run PS1 game, this thing's got to be mighty powerful. That's not saying that people don't get PS1 games working on Raspberry Pi. I think the NES and SNES Classic can play PS1 games to a degree through RetroArch once you hack it. So this thing's got to be mighty powerful to run a thing like Tekken, that even an emulator that Sony's own proprietary emulator for PSP and PS3 couldn't run. So this thing got to be a monster under the hood. So this should be interesting regardless. I'm still like, what the fuck at this whole, you need to buy a whole separate thing and you selling me a box for $100 shit. That's just dumb as fuck. I'm sorry. There is no apologies, no hand waving. I'm doing this because that's how I feel. Like, you had me. I was with you. Like, I own all of those games. I own, except for Wild Arms, and I own the remix of that on PSP. So I don't really need this thing. Like, yo, I have the real version of Ridge Racer Type 4. They came with a Namco controller. You call that a Jock-Con, but still, like, this is another one of those things at the end of the day that's not for me. Because, see, the thing is that this touches a lot of things. It brings a lot of form factor. But if I look to my immediate right over here this way, I have those games on the shelf. If I look this other way, it's games in the closet and games around the corner that most of these games represent. So if I'm not lazy enough to like, yo, I want to play a PS1 game on a PS1, I know what that PS1 game is and the things to make it work. So again, we in another game of, I was with you, this seemed kind of cool, but then to tell me I need to buy an AC adapter after I'm spending $100, but then somebody tell me, well, an AC adapter don't cost that much. That's not the point. How you gonna sell me something that I still have to buy something separate to power it? Excuse me. That's my thing. It's like the point of here's my logical thinking before we get up out of here. If I pre-order one of these things, or I go in a store at some point and go buy one, it should be the fact that I should be able to take my box, take it home, and ooh, nostalgia, and then just plug it and play. Not go buy something else while I'm at the store. That everything I need should be right there in the box. Everything I need should be right there in the box. Everything. And since it's not, you got some people that's just gonna be just looking at this just like I am and being like, I was with you until the semi-small legalese there of this don't come with a thing. Here, go buy this thing. And it's just like, all I can do is roll my eyes at it because I'm just like, damn, that's kind of fucked up. Regardless of all of this internet, we've got more show for you. Like, a lot of stuff is dropping right now. So, you know what I'm saying? Y'all need to stay tuned. Stay tuned to the show. We got what you need. And PlayStation Classic is seeming kind of fun now. Unless they got something unlike. Because, see, my thing is that once Nintendo put Star Fox 2, the full version, on the SNES Classic, the game has been raised, right? That now is that in order for us to get you in, we need something that you can't get nowhere else. What is this machine going to provide me that I can't get digitally somewhere? When we're not even talking about, we just talking about this. We ain't talking about a game I can go buy, hook up a PlayStation or a PS2 or a PS3 and play it. No, I'm talking about that in this box right here. That if I put all my PS1 stuff up and it's in the closet somewhere, I never want to touch it. But I want to relive the nostalgia of this. And on top of that, I want a legitimate reason to spend $100. what this machine is going to be the reason you spend $100 for. Because Final Fantasy VII, as of last week, is on everything. Like, if you really want to play Tekken 3, you probably shouldn't be playing it on this machine. You should probably be playing it via Tekken 5. Wild Arms has a remix on PSP more than once. So if you really want to play a real version of that game for real, you have the option to do that. I will admit, Ridge Racer Type 4, given what Ridge Racers did since, it's like Ridge Racer Type 4 is probably the best Ridge Racer game in general, period. It's like the game did great things, but that was that game's apex, and that game is probably one of the best racing games in existence, period. So, and they're Jumping Flash, and I'm like, if you really want to play Jumping Flash, you have options to do that. So what is this machine going to do to make it worth $100? Not sitting up here saying that when we talked about Star Fox 2, that was the thing that made people go spend $80. No, that was nostalgia spending. No bullshit. But for someone like me who sits up here and looks at this stuff and they can do this and be like, yo, I can find any of those games on my shelf any other day in a week, what are you going to do for me to make me look at this thing and be like, yo, I want to fuck with this? Like, that's the question I got now. Like, because right now, as much as you touching my nostalgia switch, I got like 5 PS1s. If I really want to play a PS1 game that badly, it ain't that hard. So again, it's like, but see, at the same time, like I've said, when we've talked about the NES Classic, the SNES Classic, when I went into a deep conversation when the Neo Geo Mini was sitting up here making the rounds, the same thing every time. If I want to access these video games, it is not that hard. I do not need a library card like Arthur Reed. I have spent enough money since I've had jobs to have these things on my shelf. So please tell me, Sony, until the lead up to this thing in December, whatever the hell it come out, what you got for your boy that's going to sit up here and make me go out and go buy this? That's the question. That's the question Sony got to answer for me. But at the same time, let's be for real. This wasn't made for me and mine. This was made for that kid who got a PlayStation back in '95 for Christmas and remember, like, I played Ridge Racer and I played Tekken and Wipeout and that was so much fun and I want my kids to relive that shit. Or people who just collect things because they Sony files or something to that degree. I sit on an outlier either one of those because, again, I can do this and I can pick any. Well, actually, in this instance, we being for real, most of those games are right here in front of me. Actually, because a lot of PS2 and PS3 games and Xbox games are on this shelf. I just did that for the. If we being for real, the majority of those PS1 games are sitting right here in front of me. Right here. So if I want to play a PS1 game, I got like 5 PS1s around the corner outside the lab. I can pick up a PS1 and play. It's a PS2 still hooked up, plugged up, ready for me to hit reset and play the bouncer on it. If I so choose, I can do that. So, Sony, here's your game plan. For me and those like me. Give me a reason why I should care. Other than, ooh, it's a mini PlayStation. Ooh, everybody's doing this now because, you know, it's time for nostalgia boners, dog. No homo. So, what? What do you have for me? That's the question. So, with all that being said, let me get out of here because I'm just going to keep repeating myself all day, but what you got? What you got? Because if you know this is happening, that thing that you wanted, that N64 joint, that's not going to have GoldenEye on it, or Perfect Dark, maybe they might be able to work out Perfect Dark, but that's only between if now when Smash Ultimate come out, Banjo's actually in the game. So here's the thing. I'm just putting those vibes out there. If Banjo Kazooie makes it in Smash, expect to see an N64 classic following that. Just expect it to happen. Just expect that brand synergy to happen. But we'll see. Regardless of all of that, kids, we got more show after these commercial messages. I suggest you sit back, relax, and you stay tuned. The one and only triple the G.O.D. squad of teams y'all. We always got what you need. And of course, we will be right back after these commercial messages. But really, Sony, what is it you gonna really do for me to make me buy this emulation machine that I can't do myself? Good luck with that. More show after these commercial messages.